Hey, happy Wednesday. Dadgummit. Can you believe it's almost April? That's crazy, isn't it, David?
It's great.
It is great. So how's the weather where you're at?
It's approaching 100.
Is it really?
Yeah, I'm
Man,
serious.
oh man, it bounces back and forth. Like 30 and now it's 70. It's awful, man. But that's Kentucky weather. They say there used to be shirts. They said if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. It's
Oh,
true.
that's Chicago. Yeah, the weather will change.
Oh, it's awful. Man. Anyway, so how are you doing, man? What's going on with you?
I'm doing great. April's my favorite month of the year.
Is there a specific reason, or is just
Yeah, it's my birthday.
really? What day?
The
Tell me the
seventh.
name.
The
The
seventh.
7th?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
I
it's
know you're dying to tell the folks how old you are, man.
I'll be 70.
70.
Yeah,
See,
70.
we've had this conversation. My family, listen, I love we age like milk. All right. It wasn't until about 10 years ago I realized that folks could be like 80 and vibrant and stuff, man. It was, I was like, wait, what is this? I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, it's amazing. Oh, especially when you meet, certain people, they're really proud of it. I met a lady the other day, very accomplished attorney, and the first thing she said was, I could do 100 push-ups. To which I replied, nothing, because I ain't doing 100 push-ups. So now my goal is to get to look and feel like her, and then maybe you. So there you go. Hey, but here's the deal. All right, we'll get into it in a minute. Well, who's here? I know people are here. Hey, Yolanda is here. Wow, she beat Susanna. Wow, Yolanda, you get a gold star. Thank you so much. I get sad if I don't see her in a couple. I want to call them out. But good to see you. And then Mr. Radio Voice himself. He was at the Hounds networking today, man. We had lots of new folks to that. All right. So don't get on me about those sun chips. You didn't come today. I was sad, David. All right. And then Homer, big dog Homer, man. Homer's doing good. He was in that anthology. Hey, Dr. Constance Leland, shameless plug. No. That book we did, the anthology I did last year, is in academic publishing. It's actually being sold in bookstores now in the college campuses. The redneck is in academia. Y'all, ooh, wow. Like, so there you go. There's your sales pitch. Check out the Hounds call, because I'm in academia. What else we got to say? I mean, anything's possible in the Hounds, right? They're backstage like, you ain't kidding. Right. All right. So let's run this intro. I can't wait to get these folks up. They've been in the Hounds for a while. Great people, building from the ground up. But first, I want to report how your new program and I are doing. So let me roll this intro so I can come up with something not so embarrassing. Let's do it. You ready?
I'm ready.
Well, let me take Royce off there. Oh, look, Yolanda said, happy 70th birthday when it comes.
Thank you, Yolanda.
Man, there's a ton of Hounds birthdays now and coming, man. That's great. Let's see. All right, let's roll the intro. Let's do it.
Are you looking to grow your network and your net worth with other high-level, heart-centered professionals? Then grab a seat and your favorite beverage and join Mike Asherbranner, the Redneck Connector. It's time for the Hounds of Business Community Happy Hour.
All right, so I still need time. I still need time how to frame this, but I'm probably just going to show everybody. So don't leave yet. It's going to get fun and real. So first of all, Tanya Eberhard, that was her voice on the thing, and I think we're all Tanya. What was it? Hulkamaniacs, brand face maniacs. We got to come up with something silly. But anyway, I think like half the people I know, she has helped. Right? Thank goodness. And it's so easy. Somebody's like, I need help with my branding and marketing. So I show them my old stuff. And like, enough said, right track, wrong train. But seriously, I mean, people are marketing stuff that's confusing. People meet your brand before they meet you. That's what she says. And it's absolutely true. So if you're flopping around trying to figure out why things aren't happening like I was for the first 3 years, yeah, go have the conversation. They also have a great group call and all kind of good stuff. So well earned, not even a shameless plug. This is key. In fact, I won't let people hire me. I want to do the master attractor program. Not until we get that right. If we can't do it, you need expert help, right? So, I mean, that'd be like coming to me saying I have a toothache. You don't want me pulling that tooth. Go see her, right? All right. So there it is. I got my little. I'm still talking about it. I'm still excited. Look, I didn't expect that. That's when she said somebody told me to expect something within 20 days. I'm like, 20 days? What is she sending me, a cow or something? Because they're country as I am. But it was this. I was so happy to see it. So, man, just love it. That's hanging up first and foremost right in my office shed. Oh, then this guy. Book is dropping. I will find out definitively here soon. Troy Carnes. I got to have a hair sample. We got to be related. This guy's unbelievable. Going through things. He went through 98 days of alcohol recovery. And then he found out he had cancer. And then quickly they're cutting his shoulder out. So I want to read a book by somebody who has been through that because they know what they're talking about. And this guy, he's just a good-hearted man. He really wants to help people. And he and his family are all solidified behind this. So it's exciting. His first book is dropping here soon, hopefully in April. And pre-orders are going out. And this guy's just out there championing it. And he's a good-hearted man. And a lot of folks struggling. We think we're alone. Right, David?
That's right.
We're not. Other people just better hiding it than you are. Stop hiding it. All right. That's why we got the hounds. You ain't got to hide nothing here. Be your best self. All right. And then, Kevin Smith. Oh, this guy. He lost his wallet and it looked like he lost his mind at first. If you lose your wallet and somebody gives it back to you, what are you supposed to do? Give them a 20 and say thank you. Right? That's what you do. That's what I do. The dogs are back here going nuts. All right. Well, somebody else will deal with it. All right. Find out. This guy is everywhere, truly spreading kindness. If you missed our show last week, oh wow, go to the YouTube channel, Hounds of Business. This is no joke. We had the movers and shakers of York, right? And I used to work in the city, right? In government and things like this, a nonprofit, 25th largest city in the U.S. This is the pilot. These people are doing it. I mean, leadership, transformational leadership. I've never seen anything like this. So it is working. So thank you, Hounds, friends of the Hounds, everyone. Kevin, you're pulling dual roles, my friend. He is making it happen. So folks are pulling this everywhere. That's okay. We love the Hounds. I mean, we can't really get mad at your dog, David. So, and then here we go. So before I dive into this, let me show you what happened. 2 weeks ago? Yeah. Let's see if we can get this up here. 2 weeks ago. All right, because everybody wants to. How you doing with Kevin or David's new program? Well, here you go. Here we go. Do it here. Gee whiz. And this is fitting for the topic tonight. Oh, and don't tell him about this here. Don't tell him about my chip because I ain't supposed to eat processed stuff. So this guy, he won me over. I'll be honestly. Okay, that's enough. All right. So let me put it this way. I was like, I'm going to do David's 42-day with a 6-week program. I'm going to get myself back in shape. And then it bombed the first 2 weeks. And I just told David. David said, why? It's not him. It's me. Life is busy, but we got if you're building a business and doing something special, which most of us here are, it's hard. And so I told him, I said, look, I've read Jaded Health again, and I gave myself a little bit of grace because I got a lot of moving parts, but it's not an excuse. But here's what's happening. I'm already stopping it. Just thinking about it, hold myself accountable has stopped that. So, hey, readjust. I had some life changes happen. And this week we're doing it. We're getting our menus out, right? We're getting our shopping stuff together. I've unwarned the kids. They're trying to pack up on sugar. So like camels, man. And, we're going to get after it because this ain't yours. I mean, I've heard someone say this a while back, and this reminds me of you. They said, if you go without water, food, and air, it don't take long to realize you need that to live. But you can neglect your health for decades. And then one day it finally catches up, and then it's too late. Most time it's irreversible. And you've been there and done that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, real quick, the doctor said, get a new doctor if you're not going to listen to me after 8 years. Tell us that.
Yeah, basically, I went in July of 2016, and he said, based on my lab results and that I was fat, I had a 95% chance for a fatal heart attack, and I was 61 at the time. And so he says, lose weight or get a new doctor. And he strongly encouraged me to get a new doctor because he'd been after me for 8 years to lose the weight. If I did lose weight on a diet, I gained it all back, sometimes even more. This time was different. I was embarrassed, humiliated, frustrated. And during the next 4 months, I shed 50 pounds, 25% of my total body weight. More importantly, I've kept it off, changed my lifestyle, changed my mindset. And then in June of 2022, at age 67, I hiked up Mount Kilimanjaro. So I know that it works because I have clients that have changed their mindset and are living healthier. They're enjoying life because it's not a diet. We figure out what you enjoy, what you like, and you focus on that. And I do agree, it's tough out there because it's not the food we're eating, it's what they've done to the food.
Absolutely. So over Christmas, you made a program because there's lots of popular programs, 90 days, but there's a 90% failure rate for a lot of these major and well-known brands. And you said, hey, I want to make one that people can have long term after they're done with the program, they continue these habits. It becomes second nature. And that 90% pass. So real brief, tell us before we get Andy and Rich up, what is Jaded Health 42 and who's it for?
Jaded Health 42 is for the 40 plus crowd. So if you have aches and pains and you want to improve your health, or you're worried about type 2 diabetes, or you're pre-diabetic, this will help you change so you have more energy, better mental clarity, more vitality, reduce weight, and you'll be able to be a participant in life instead of a spectator. What I tell people, my luxury is I wake up in the morning, I'm almost 70, I have no aches and pains. So I feel blessed. Now, it wasn't always like that. But the 42 days, it's 7 tasks you do each day, very simple task, and you do it for 42 consecutive days. There's some grace in there. So if you're not perfect, you just want to be consistent, you have up to 5 days you cannot be perfect before you have to start over again. And there's no time limit either. So like you said, you're starting over after 2 weeks. I don't care how long it takes you as long as you finish, because once you get to 42 days, that's when you start seeing noticeable results. And then people say, well, what's the other significance of 42? And so the answer to that is 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, according to Douglas Adams, who wrote about that in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
All right, y'all, stay tuned. Go to jadedhealth.com. All the good stuff's there. And he also, his main jam is wellness workshops, right? So any corporations out there looking to help retention, get people healthier, something they'll enjoy, not wish you didn't. Hey, go to David. All right. So appreciate you, David. Hey, we're going to report on my progress because I want to feel better, but I also want my head and my body to match by at least June. So we can get it done there. Yes, dadgummit. I don't want to look like the blow pop anymore. And
in case people wondering who the beautiful young lady is in the orange, that's Vonnie Harry from the Food Babe.
Yeah, the Food Babe. So you've been flying around just making things happen, and you're just tell the truth. You're just doing stuff, and you mean it, and you know what you're doing. And dadgummit, I appreciate you. Love having you in the pack, and thank you. So we'll be on my honest progression. So y'all know I'm honest because I'm not bragging about eating some sun chips. All right, that's Russ Hedges' fault. So anyway, it was Russ and D. Scott. They started it. All right. So David, we'll have you back soon, brother. Appreciate you a million.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, my pleasure. All right, let's pull them out here. Let's get Andy and Rich on the stage. We don't have a clapper. Yay, I can do this though. How are you? How are you, Rich?
Good. How you doing, Mike? Thanks for having us.
Man, I'm awake. I'm awake. I wanted to sleep, but now, how could you be asleep? And then Andy, she's on mute because she's been hanging out with me. Andrea, how are you?
Unmuted. I'm good. Thank you.
Sweet. So the folks are in for a special treat. Today it's supposed to be talking about unlocking business growth through automation and simplification. I know what you do, but like I said, it's kind of like giving a monkey Etch-a-Sketch. There's only so far I can go. So I'm going to be learning a lot about y'all. All right. But what you do is really needed. It's needed by entrepreneurs, small, startups, scale-ups, large, all of them. Right. So welcome to the stage. Tell me a little bit about y'all. Just give me a little bitty backdrop. You don't have to start at childbirth or anything weird, Andy, but hey, where are you today and how did you get into this business?
Excellent question. So where are we today? So Rich and I joined forces almost 2 years ago. And both of us have come up through consulting and a lot of technology, and worked for larger companies, and got together and said, hey, we've been seeing a lot of the same patterns. We've been friends for a really long time, and we always talk about the same thing. And a lot of it really came down to, we've got smart people who are getting stuck, and a lot of it comes down to their systems and their processes just not keeping up. And so we were like, hey, maybe we could turn this into a business and consult for ourselves. So that's really where we got started. And our passion is really just helping business leaders stop fighting with their systems and start using them as a real growth engine. And so that's been the fun part.
Yeah. And so you're being modest. All right. Maybe Rich wouldn't be so modest. Because y'all work for some big dogs, right? Y'all been in with Dell and Oracle. I mean, people's heard these, right? But now you help regular folks like us untangle messes we got ourselves into. Is that the redneck version? Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we've had a career in a lot of big organizations. I've worked for Salesforce, we've worked for Dell, Accenture. I mean, these are names of companies that you say people recognize, that they're known for excellence in either their software or their outcomes. And I think the really interesting part, and Andy and I talk about this all the time, and as she alluded to, is, whether you're working for a large company or whether you're working for a small company, it's just the maturity of the company and the dimensionality of the problem, right? So it's process that's going to drive your technology, that's going to drive efficiency, and that's going to drive growth. I mean, it seems like a simple equation. It's all going to kind of fit together really easily, but it doesn't. And those big companies that you refer to, although they have a B behind the number of their revenue, they're challenged with this every day, just as most of us in smaller, medium-sized businesses are as well.
Yeah, all right. So if anybody's out there going, oh no, not another daggum system or something to learn, that's not what you're all about, right? So how do you all approach people who are just overwhelmed by all this tech and talk and all this crap already? Like, that's what makes you different.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, we always say we're here to remove the complexity, not add another system unless it's warranted. So a lot of business owners or business leaders, they don't necessarily need more technology, but they need the right technology. And I think that's a common thread that we find is really translating what your business needs into what the technology can deliver.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about technology, and we've all seen it, especially in the age of social media, oh, just turn this on. AI is going to solve every problem. It's really easy to use. The problem is it may be easy to use if you're a technologist and you know the outcome you're trying to drive with the technology you're buying. But the reality is a lot of people buy a Rolls Royce and they need a Fiat, right? And so then they struggle with all these features and functionality, and they're like, should I use this? Should I do that? And so to Andy's point, it really starts with the simplest part is, what outcome are you trying to achieve? Like, what business process or business outcome are you trying to work with? And how does the technology support that business process? Because sometimes, honestly, you can use the free version and it will do just what you need it to do until the point where you hit a maturity in your company and you're like, okay, now I got to buy that next feature. So it's also kind of doing an evaluation of what you really need and the time you need it.
See, this is what I like about y'all. This is the same way I am. I approach them when I ask people or they're interested in my services or whatever I can do. I sit down and ask them questions like a medical doctor, right? It's the difference between a pharmaceutical salesperson. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but they're trying to sell the product that they have to sell, and the other one's trying to find out what solution fits you. And that's the difference. Everybody says that, but I've seen you all do it. I've heard people say, oh, they actually care, right? And you can walk away without selling somebody something, and that because they may not need it yet, but but when they do want it, guess who they're coming to? Andy.
Right. We hope so anyway. Yeah.
I mean, listen, there's a thousand reasons to buy something or invest in something, but I agree with you. We grew up through our career solution selling, right? So we've never been in direct sales roles. So when you solution sell, you're really thinking about the problem you're solving and trying to adapt to that problem. So we've done a lot of implementations of software. So we've always been on the back end when the salesperson has sold it and the customer's like, what do I do with this? Because the salesperson told me it would do this. And we're like, yeah, it doesn't do that.
Not yet. Not yet.
Right. So now we've got to help you do that.
Right. It's truly trying to identify the problem. And again, I'm skipping ahead. But this ain't just sell something and then go, oh, well, hopefully, then they have to call someone else.
Correct.
This is, you want repeat business. If they do this, they call you to scale up and do more and do more. And it's so bizarre because it sounds so simple, but I don't see a lot of it. I don't. And it's such a big thing with AI and all this stuff. So it's refreshing to me. That's why you all are on here, just to have people that go, hey, let's slow down and get to know you for a minute. Like, it's very simple. So on this note, yeah, real talk, right? You know how the country people say, oh, well, bless their heart, right? So what is the mistake that you see business owners doing that makes you go, oh man, bless their heart, my goodness gracious, like the biggest mistake when it comes to system and processes?
I think it comes down to a lot of what we've been talking about, which is really when business leaders try to force fit something, a generic software into their business instead of the other way around, which is really building a solution that matches your workflow. So it just, it's like trying to buy somebody else's, custom fit suit is just not going to work. So your systems really have to reflect the unique elements of your business. So we've all done the same thing where we're like, oh, that software, like this is totally going to do it. Right. And unless you really sit down and evaluate, like, what is it that I want it to do before you make that purchase decision? Rich and I have done it. We've done it for our business. But a lot of times we're brought in to kind of clean up messes. And that's where, particularly at the enterprise level, that's a lot of what we started cutting our teeth on, was cleaning up messes. Right. We really like working in the small and mid-sized space because, frankly, it's a lot faster to get to the right conversation, which is just what are we trying to do here, and then let's put the system in to the business rather than the business into the system.
Right, and
cart before the horse.
Yeah,
horse before the cart.
And a woman I worked with, this was her go-to question all the time: is what problem are you trying to solve? Right. And so that's really when businesses make mistakes, they don't entirely answer that question. Right. They say, oh, well, we think we're doing this. And then they go to implement the solution and try to figure it out. And it just doesn't match. And so starting with what the problem is and then what outcome do you want to achieve at the end, kind of bookending those things will get you to a good answer every time. Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So she's been the star of, would you get out of here? Oh, my goodness. So now she realizes she gets a lot of attention when she goes on. So now she wants to take my show over. Yeah, I can't wait.
She's going to take your job, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, that's okay. I'll charge her royalties. So profit share. So, no, you said a lot there. And then the little monster hillbilly came in. All right. So it's. So here's the question that I ask myself. It's so obvious. If people are signing up for things that they don't understand and probably isn't the best fit now or later, why are they doing it? And the obvious answer is they ain't know any better. So I guess as you talk, how do people know you're different? I'm not saying every company sucks. It's just, quite a bit, or people are confused or they're speaking different languages. And so like, how do people know, other than doing these shows so we can tell them? How do they know that you guys got a different approach? You just tell them that, or like, do they believe you at first when you're like, hey, they're like, no, I heard this before. Like, cause I think a lot of it is that we just get into conversations and people are like, oh, you understand. I'm like, yeah. So a lot of it's just talking to, honestly, some of our best clients have just been, table talk, cocktail talk, where, we're talking about, oh, how's business? And, it's good, but I can see where, I've kind of got some bottlenecks, and you just get into conversation and you're like, oh, well, yeah, it sounds like you've got a really good process, but you need a CRM to manage all of your customers. And people are like, yeah, that's exactly what I need. Do you know anything about that? And so, I would say that that's kind of where the genesis of a lot of our deals come from. And then, conversations like this in online forums, in the communities, a lot of that is just having conversation around, hey, like, what's going on in your business? Like, what's happening today? And then it kind of just naturally goes from there, to be really honest.
Yeah.
It's word of mouth too. Because people get to know you and they're like, no, actually they do listen. Because y'all love people. That's why I want y'all on here, because you really do. Because you just said it earlier. And we talked about this before, where, it's like, it's heartbreaking. And it doesn't mean that somebody did it on purpose to them. It just happened anyway. And you got like mall and paws, or you got a small startup that finally hit their stride. They can finally pay the electric bill. And now they're stuck with this disaster. And it doesn't take long, folks. Folks in the comments, the hounds, they get it. It doesn't take long for you I mean, how many days could you be out of business, guys? Think about it, because you could seriously be out of business. This could stop the whole progress of everything you do once you have system. And it could knock you out of business. I mean, it could be a matter of days for some of us. They could really knock us.
Well,
right?
And it's also that inflection of growth. So one of our really good clients,
they're all really good, Rich.
They are one really good one. But her business was doing phenomenal, and it was about scaling her business. And she knew in order to scale her business to the number she wanted, she would have to hire 3, 4, 5 people. And to Andy's point, through the conversation, she realized that, oh, well, wait a minute, you guys can do something different for me here. And by automating her business, we saved her 3 or 4 headcount, which would be probably about $200,000 in annual revenue. Now, she may have gotten to a bigger number revenue-wise by hiring those people, but her margin would have got significantly lower.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you think about kind of the future of technology and your business, is the inflection point of where do I hire people and where do I automate my business, right? And the genesis or the challenge there is really the fact that some people don't know how to automate their business. And that's really what we're passionate about, is how do you look differently at your business than just throwing more bodies at it and doing those manual things over and over, putting things into a spreadsheet versus letting some tool put it into a spreadsheet for you. Right.
And I think, the other thing that was really fun with that one was that, she's still going to grow, but it's kind of also bridging that point in your business growth journey where all of a sudden, like, she's not looking at the day-to-day, like, what is Sally doing? But she's able to look across all of her agents and see the entire throughput of a business from an end to end. You make different decisions when you've got that kind of insight into your business, because you kind of elevate your vision above the day-to-day. And that's what a lot of systems and processes. And for this particular client, it was really just customizing her CRM to her specific business. And it's a total game changer.
Yeah, I love the approach. I mean, because it's real. I mean, that's what people need, because we don't know, literally, oh, I need tech or I need automation or whatever. And here's my thing about it. You guys automate the things that could and should be automated, free up time and money. But then now you have the capacity, resources to put your people in front of the people, right? Like, because nothing makes me, I can't stand it. People are like, you're against AI and tech. No, I'm not against AI and tech. I'm against AI and tech being a damn brain replacement. Absolutely, right? So once
100%.
somebody knocks at the door, and they get me, they don't get a robot again and again. And you all get that. I just know. I've been around you. I've seen it. So on this note, because a lot of folks, this one too, are becoming tech challenged, or it's just not our thing, right? It's not a bad thing. So what are some tips, or, do you have any advice for somebody that can dip our toes into automation without drowning in the deep end over it? Like, is it wise to put little things in place with guidance instead of just do it all at once? Like, what have you seen in your experience that kind of mistakes that people make?
Yeah, it's always start small. Pick one thing, right? So to the point we're talking about is, what are the manual tasks that, one, you may hate to do, or that you don't need to do? And it's always about, to your point, freeing up your time to do value-added activities. So if you, like, again, update a spreadsheet, you do something that's a very manual task that needs to be done every day, automate it. Start small. Cut your teeth on something that's not scary, like implementing a whole new CRM system, right? And from there, you're going to say, okay, so I've saved myself 10 hours a month. Great. We can't force you to take those 10 hours a month and add it to lead generating or value-added activities, but you could free up your time, right? So tech doesn't have to be overwhelming, but it has to be thoughtful. And to the point kind of Andy was talking about earlier, it's really about your business process and the outcomes you're trying to achieve. So start small, think of something very simple that isn't overwhelming. And that's the entry point.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you can expand from there.
Hey, Homer, I didn't know when to put, because I didn't see his comment until later, and I didn't want to put it up like he's calling you baby girl. So that's all right. So he was talking about my little one. Yeah, I was like, when do I put this comment on the screen? There you go. There's one to you. Yeah, we're not done yet, Royce. Don't leave. But yeah, this is good. Because that's what I was afraid of. Everybody be like, oh, hell, another tech show I don't want to watch, but I don't want them mad at me or something. This is good stuff because we all need it. No. I did that. I was like, oh, I need a CRM. I really did. But then I did stupid things like get the package that I have to work. Really? Me? No. Like, all of this stuff. And then it snowballs. Well, this is the solution to fix this problem.
Exactly.
And now you got two problems. They don't work.
But it is the little things. I mean, start with the CRM and then, add forms on your website potentially, or a chat bot or something along those lines. Automate messaging out to new leads or to referrals or to reviews or, like there's any number of things that you can do. It's just kind of, okay, build the backbone and then just add on to it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there are simple things like reminding you 60 days before a renewal is coming due so you can have the right conversation. It's sending out, reviews automatically. Hey, you really like the product, submit a review. Hey, thanks for the review. Or if it's a bad review, hey, sorry for that bad review. Here's 10% off your next purchase or, whatever your business is. But those little things are going to make your customer experience much more impactful, and they're going to feel better about your product and your brand. But it was something that you did in the background that doesn't take days of you sorting through reviews and responding to the ones that are bad or responding to the ones that are good. You can kind of dial that in with automation. Little less personal. You can make the message personal, but if you're getting thousands of reviews on your website, you don't have time to even provide that personal response. So automate it.
Oh, let me chime in on this. That's I forgot what, I don't know if it's a myopia or whatever. And Royce can probably he's in process now building his new business. So you get in, you're like, oh, well, that's going to be 6 months till I have to worry about that, right? I'm only getting a couple clients, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden, boom!
Right
now I did it the other day. I launched a newsletter, got 3,800 subscribers in 24 hours,
Well
and everybody's
done.
like, give me your guide, and I'm going, oh no, I haven't got my landing page out. I need to fix the guide. I was like, oh man, nobody gonna want that thing.
We are all on the same boat.
Right.
Oh, and now I'm playing.
Business owners. We get it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look, Andy's doing the Godzilla thing. She's a little lagging right now, so I'm sorry.
Shoot.
Go ahead.
Shoot. No, I was just gonna say we all get it. I'd love to say we do something differently. We're all small business owners. We get it.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's not a judgment or, when you go to experts, sometimes you just feel stupid. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one, right? Like, seriously, it's like, you're embarrassed like you're going to proctologist, but that's their profession, but if you have a really bedside mannered proctologist, it's better. That's why I like y'all. I know, yes, I went there. Thank you for the grace, Andy, but it makes a difference. You want people who get you, know you, discuss it over, cocktail or whatever, and really get to know you. And it's not BS. It's not a sales pitch. That I love doing that. And I love when people just listen. I do the same thing when I do some stuff with clients. It's like a therapy session. I'm like, oh, go grab your wine, sit there, because how am I supposed to help you if I don't know nothing about you?
Right. Well,
it's crazy.
And it's funny you say that. We were talking to a client in December or potential client, and we were walking through, she was counting her challenges and where she was really stuck. And we walked through something. She's like, this is like a therapy session. You guys just get it. You just understand us. And so it's that connection, right? It's that understanding as business owners. I think, I use this analogy with Andy the other day. It's like, as a parent, you want to let other parents tell you what a nightmare their kids are or your kids are, so you can empathize with the fact like, oh, it's not just me. My kid is crazy, or, this situation is nuts, right? It's the same in business, right? If we talk about the challenges and the problems and we share the solutions, then it becomes less scary and less overwhelming. And I think programs like this and communities that you've created with the Hans of Business, it allows people to share that kind of anxiety sometimes that they have about these topics and learn from people who actually have been through it, can do it, and can provide some helpful guidance. Even if that guidance is, hey, just start here, guys. You don't need me. You don't need to buy the Rolls Royce. Just start here.
Let's get started.
Well, and here's the thing, I put this up. Thank you for making this for us. All right. So they put the Hounds of Business page out for us. Schedule the consultation, or if you don't use this page, it might be a little while. So there you go. But do that. And they're not going to try to sell you. Here's what there's a future client in the making. If they can help you get a fast start with your $100 or whatever you're doing right now while you're growing and scaling, then you can trust them because they didn't try to gouge you. They helped you do it right. So then when you get to making big money, you know who to hire. I mean, am I crazy or am I just the only one that says that out loud? That's it. Hey, you help me. That's why I do everything I do. I've got people, CJ, Anthology, same thing. Why CJ? Because she was the first one to come help me and did me right. Now everything I need media-wise is Dr. Constance Leland, Level Up. That's it, right?
Yeah.
And now she had sold me, and then I was all complicated and wrote a bad chapter, and people booed me on the street. Yeah, I probably wouldn't go to CJ, right? So I'm glad that folks seeing this. I know these folks resonate with this, and because it can't be overstated, in my opinion. I mean, it's the who for me. It's hey, how do you take care of business? Do you have my back? You're going to be here tomorrow, and y'all been in the game for a long time. Y'all ain't going nowhere. You're elevating, and so yeah. So
and to your point earlier when you were talking about Tanya. We've worked with Tanya as well. It's kind of how we got introduced. And in the beginning, we had a very different vision for the business. And Tanya and our team put together this whole vision. And then we said, yeah, that's no longer the vision. And we're like, sorry, we understand. And she's like, no, you're not leaving this relationship until you get what you came for. And so I think people like that and business like that is the right way to do business. It's about getting it right. It's not about charging people the most money or sucking the most value out of something. It's really, if we can get it right, you see the value right away.
Right.
There you go, straight. I had to make sure Andrea didn't want to say something because
no, no, I totally agree. This is, and I will say right now, if you look at our business, it's generally repeat business, because once you have those relationships, people are like, I can't do my job without you. I want you to take on this. And, that's, I think, a real compliment to the work that you're doing.
Right. Absolutely. And so let me ask you this. So y'all wrote, I think it was on your website, correct me if I'm wrong, the article, Pivoting When Your Current Approach Isn't Working.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, of course, I went straight to that. Right. So how do you know when it's time to fish or cut the bait with a new process? How do you know if it's really time to cut what you're doing or to transition to something else?
I would say that, if you're looking at your current process, your current vision, and is it costing you more in time or frustration than you're either earning or than the process is meant to save, that's a good test. So, a lot of times, particularly with our clients, we'll say, okay, if you were to hire somebody to do this particular task, would they be able to understand it and do it without any problem? And if the answer is no, a pivot is in order for sure.
Right. And this article started with thinking about the evolution. So, I started my career in banking back in the 90s, and every bank was buying every bank, and they were going to save millions of dollars through these mega acquisitions and create this better experience. And then we go into the .com boom, and, now internet is going to just be the greatest thing ever and simplify our lives. And now we're in the AI generation, right? Now these agents are just going to do everything for us. And what I would say is, through each of these evolutions, the principles we've been talking about are still true. That if you don't have great data to tell your story, it's not going to work. If your AI is hooked to content that is bad content, it's going to give you a bad answer, right? And so technology has always been able to level the playing fields and make our lives easier, right? I mean, 30 years ago, we didn't carry this around all the time. Now, nobody leaves their 2 feet without their cell phone, right? And in some instances, make our life really easy. Some instances have been really complex because there's underlying processes, data, interconnectivity between different groups, right? So if you're a business owner, you maybe want to pass things on to your CPA, Well, okay, that's data that your CPA needs. Well, what if that data is sitting in 17 different places? Tax season is just a nightmare for you, right? Versus pulling it all in one place and saying, here's the thing you need. Marketing, leads coming in, becoming customers. And so, we always say start small, yes, but remember your business is connected, right? Leads become customers, customers become repeat customers, hopefully, and renewal customers and referrals. And all that creates a whole bunch of data, and it creates a whole bunch of operational needs for your business. And as your business grows, those challenges and those needs grow. And so you just kind of always have to flex that muscle back and forth.
Yeah. And by the way, I was listening to you because that was very well said, but I also noticed David just left. So where's my sun chips? Anybody got any sun chips? I'm joking. I'm joking.
Mike, we are always this boring and geeky, and it's really fun for us.
Hey, I'm serious. Y'all got some personality for some tech processing people. Don't send me hate mail. All right, I got you. But seriously, it's like the one hippie account, right? It kind of stands out a little bit, or the redneck with a community and radio. Yeah, it's weird. So, but hey, we have fun here, and people need this stuff. I can't wait to blast this, put this out.
Thing. Yeah,
that's what they don't know. What they don't know. Nobody gets up in the morning and says, "I'm gonna make a nightmare of my processing." We've got so many things happening, and then we're like, "Oh crap, I need a." Honestly, hey, here's the no BS moment. The reason I finally got stuff. So I had a website. I haven't touched it in a year and a half. I didn't have a landing page. So it was back in October. This lady came out and said, "Hey, I'm going to put you on this 6-figure summit." Ooh, sounds big. Right. And a lot of good people there. And she's like, "Hey, where's your landing page?" I don't have one. "Where's your website?" It's embarrassing. Well, and I said, "Listen to me." And listen, I think we can agree on this. If not, it's going to be a hell of a show. But here's what I told her. I said, I've done that before. Instead of getting all this stuff willy-nilly that I don't really need, because nobody's watching my website. No one's at the landing page.
Right.
I'm out here building real relationships to get people who actually buy from me. So when I actually make money and go to things like this, now I need one. Okay. Like now I'm going to get a landing page because you're asking me for one. And yeah, right. And she's like, and again, you guys can help prepare for that. You can say, "Hey, Mike, before you go here and do that, be ready." Right. And so that's why I want to put y'all out here. First of all, you're trustworthy. Second of all, you can help guide people. So when they go, "Oh, hey, I need it." Well, guess who I'm going to go to? I'm going to go to the people who helped me get started, even for free or light investment, who didn't try to gouge me on things. Right.
Right.
And that's it. Because I went through a couple companies and woo, I'd rather have an annual exam. I'll be honest. It was not a pretty sight. And then I'm like, "Hey, Goofy, people." And there you go. I call it. So, but that's what I mean.
That's part of it, right? And I think as all business owners, when you start out, you try to do things on the cheap. Let's be honest, right?
100%.
We do the same thing. Our first website it was an embarrassment. And that's kind of part of what we do. But you're like, okay, well, I could go spend $10 million or $10,000 to have somebody do this whiz bang cool website, or I can kind of put it out there. And to your point, as my company matures, my messaging matures, and I start dialing into my audience, well, great. Now let me change the website, right? But in the beginning, maybe we got 2 hits to our website because, a friend of a friend posted on it and hit it, right?
And frankly, all we needed was just that business card to say, "Okay, we're legit." Like, that's all you need to start with. But now, now we need more.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just waiting to make sure that I don't catch y'all. Yeah. So this is the one I found interesting because I liked y'all's articles. I don't even read articles. I got to read my own because I write them, But like it takes a lot for me to read an article. I was like, wow, this is cool. So y'all talk about Zoom towns, right? Yeah. So tell us about it in your own words. But what popped in my head was, we all know that the way we work has changed, especially since COVID and all that. But in the last year or so, or more importantly, where it's going, what should business owners be doing differently because of how work is changing technology wise?
It's funny, that whole concept came from a book I read called 2030. And it's a book that what's the world going to look like in 2030? And so part of it really was, and this book was written before COVID, by the way. And so part of it was about this idea around intertwining work-life balance and work, right? And so the idea of a Zoom town is you create a community that you want to live in that sustains jobs for people, right? So if you think of the United States, right, most people live on the coasts. If you think of Iowa or Nebraska, Amazon isn't building their corporate headquarters there, right? So if you could create a group of entrepreneurs that had this work-life balance, that wanted to enjoy raising their kids in a kind of free environment and be able to collaborate with people, then these Zoom towns are kind of that concept of where your work is there, but your family and your life is there. And you leave work and you go for a bike ride, or you go to the local pub and everybody knows you, right? Like, cheers, Norm. You know,
Norm, you had to go there.
Right, of course. Oh, I grew up in Boston, so of course I did. But it's that idea that you don't need the mega cities, right? You could have this same talent and this environment in a smaller Zoom town. So if you think of countries like Japan or Italy, where they're aging population and they're selling houses for $1 and come live in our community, think of, at the end of the day, walking down to the piazza or to the town center and having dinner, and you're seeing your neighbors, but you're also collaborating and you're working together. That's kind of the idea.
Who else wants to live with Rich now? I mean, you sound great, man. We could play Frisbee now. Yeah, I'm like,
sure.
Totally.
I could. Hey, who wants to go try on shoes at the local mall? I'm like, just the way you said it makes me want to go. There you go. All right. So
I think it's more about, it's not where you work, it's how you work. And we're seeing that in our business with our clients, that the location doesn't matter. Everything has to be mobile friendly. Everything has to have a collaboration component, because that's just the way people work. And I would say that with all of our clients, it doesn't seem to matter the age. Like, people are doing massive amounts of work on their mobile devices, and that's something that I think for a lot of business leaders, they're like, oh yeah, that's fine. As long as I've got a phone, as long as all my salespeople have phones, they need to have phones. They need to have access to their CRM. They need to be able to upload documents. They need to be able to sign documents. They need to do the whole thing. And if you're not doing that, I mean, that's table stakes today. And that's what we're seeing, that I think wallops a lot of people across the head, thinking, oh, I didn't realize I had to do that today.
Bingo. There's a question. Is it
Timu?
Timu,
yeah.
Y'all know him?
Yeah, we used to work together with him at Dell. He's an Austin guy, so he's down there in Texas. So
good to see you.
Yeah, my approach would be something back office, and the only reason I say that is because that's usually where the inefficiencies are, and people never spend their time on. And it's the things that you're gonna do that honestly are time sucks, right? Spending time with your client, somebody's always going to free up time to call a client, work with a client, but nobody's going to free up time to submit an expense report or, fill out that spreadsheet. So I would focus back office first. I think it frees up a lot more resources, and it's where a lot more automation can take place.
There you go.
But I'd say there's a lot to be said on the customer facing side of the house.
I knew you'd
which is just making it really fast. I mean, there is so much data around. The faster you follow up with prospects, the faster you follow up with clients, like, you win deals that way. And so I think the faster you can respond to people, there's a lot to be said for that business case as well. So, we'll take whatever our clients want to tackle first.
Right. But agree with you, Royce. Test it first.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody else notice how I got y'all like fighting like Pokemon? That was cool. Y'all want to see
like
that again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody else asked the question.
Well, it's Andy's the marketing part of
right. It's our backgrounds. It's our competing backgrounds. He's the banker.
Right.
And I'm front office. So
right.
That's
leopards don't lose spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are a fun team. I'll tell you what, man. And hey, and shameless plug. Why is this guy not in the Hounds yet? Hey, go yell at them, Timu. Hey, seriously, no. Look who we run with. Look at the fun we have. We get things done. Hey, shameless plug.
Listen,
Hounds of business.
Timu, you're in stealth startup mode, right? So
It's true. I did read that. Yeah.
Right.
Man, you don't do it alone. I mean, dadgummit, man. I'm telling you, I got opportunities galore. And it wasn't me out there talking about me. I did that for years. Y'all see, man? Y'all see that hairline? Yeah, that's for trying to do it alone.
Listen.
Don't do it.
Hey, look at Rich. You've seen him, right?
He really tried to do it alone.
I'm 22. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and you can, what do you say? Pick up like 200, 340 pounds or something. Yeah, you can pick up like 6 of me right now. That's why I got David. That's why. But seriously, we have a blast, and this is what I mean. It's pushing people up. All about it. So, oh wow, time flies. We're having a lot of fun. We should have brought Sarah P out because, me and her are like secret nerds. So we'll just have to bring it up and just have like a Star Trek day or
Definitely.
something.
Definitely.
Somebody give me the rights to Star Trek. All right, go work on that. Somebody. All right. So let's see. Wow, man, I even had cheat sheets, but I didn't need them today. That's it. That's wow. All right. So that article, that AI article, there's tons. Y'all go to the website. That's why I'm putting it up right. This is really good stuff for the regular business folks, right? Again, not tech wizards. We're talking about AI now.
Hell.
So what's one simple AI tool that we can start using, playing with, get excited about that would make a big difference for us if you're not tech savvy?
Depends on what you want to do. ChatGPT and Claude are like the instant ones for content generation. I love Perplexity for research. So if you're trying to research a new client, if you're trying to research even a new software or how to do something, I find Perplexity really good. So yeah, I might start there.
Timu's funny. He said born on a leap year from earlier because you said you're 20.
I think the funny thing is everything's AI, right? Everything is AI generated now. Oh, AI tool. So
even if it's just automated and not AI, because we do have some holy wars over that too.
Right. But even if you're going to start with any of those tools, the thing to remember is what you put in is what you get out, right? So with ChatGPT, Claude, it's all about your prompt. And so if you don't know how to write a prompt, you can ask ChatGPT how to write the prompt.
This is what I'm trying to do. How would I write a good prompt?
Right. Yeah. But there's a wealth of data out there. We talked about all the content that's out there and that it's tapping into, which is great. But if you just ask it really open-ended, generic questions, you're going to get a very generic answer. And so I was working with somebody and they were like, well, I don't like the tone of this. I'm like, well, tell it to make it humorous. They're like, you can do that? I'm like, yes, you can prompt it to be humorous, to be serious, to now create images, but you kind of got to know what the outcome is and how you're going to prompt it. So, but ChatGPT is the great, kind of first introduction for most people.
Yeah, Claude kind of creeped me out a little bit in a good way because I was over typing and it's like, hey, do you want me to put this in a redneck connector tone? I'm like, hey, Claude, wow, we on third base. What happened here?
Yes.
Yeah. But if you program it a lot, again, we can save a lot of time. I throw all the stuff I wrote for the last 18 years, put it in there. And then here's the key, though. I sit down and do it. I don't just throw it out there. I don't take its 100%. Word for it. I just prompt and I learned. See, Dr. Constantine helped me prompt and learn. Yeah. And it was very helpful. And now I can show other people, right? Use the same system over and over again. But you're right.
And then it's the same thing. It's building the process. It's building the templates. And now when you need something, like you just say, here's my template and here's what I want the contents to be. So, it's making a process out of the ChatGPT or whatever you're using.
But I would also say, like, as much as I rely on it for research and spell check and grammar, all those good things, right? I I always say reread it and kind of make sure it's your voice. So to your point is, once you've trained it, I think it gets your voice. But a lot of people, because I see this all the time, is they see it, they copy it, they paste it, and I'm like, yeah, that's not you. That's still the computer, right? So for research, stuff like that. But if you're gonna, I do recommend for AI, if you're gonna publish things, still retain your voice.
And then even use it to fact check yourself and to, to look for, where are their biases. And, like you can literally tell it to also be the school teacher, not just for spell check, but for how what are the holes in your line of thinking or in your business case or whatever it is that you're trying to build.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let me give this to you and you can fight over it like Pokemon. I just want to throw it out there and see what happens. All right. So before we wrap this up, all right, what's the one question that I should have asked you, but I didn't and didn't have to know how to ask? Is there anything that you would like the folks to know about you, your business, anything that I should have asked but didn't?
I mean, like the reality is, do we drink our own champagne? Right? I mean, we're
Good question. Good question. Yeah, we got all the answers, right?
But do we take our own advice? And so I will say, like, no, not always, right? That landing page you're showing, that was created yesterday, right? To your point, like I'm about to be on a show, I need to put out a landing page. So I think the reality is business is challenging. It's hard. It's hard to balance all the responsibilities and all the priorities you have. And so first, we're always like, don't sweat it. But I think it's really important that everybody is always constantly evaluating and constantly thinking about their business. And we do it every day. Was this right? Was the website right? Was the language right? Did we say the right things to Mike on the hounds? I think everybody needs to give themselves grace, and your business is gonna take off or do a slow burn, whatever you think it's gonna do. But it is challenging. And I think the more we create a community like the Hounds and create communities where we can share and talk and be really honest and transparent, I think you get a lot more out of your business.
Daggum straight. Well said. I agree. And that's why chiropractors don't crack their own necks, Andy, right? Like
That's exactly right. Well, and it's just doing the reps. We were talking with David earlier, like right. We have to hold ourselves accountable to doing the reps, to making the calls for new leads, to networking, to doing the finances, to cleaning up our data. It's holding each other accountable. Again, it's also really helpful when you're in communities like this, because sometimes we have to reward each other and slap each other on the back for just doing the hard work. And so that part's nice too. Well,
that's awesome. Everybody go to, how do you say, is it SaaS, or I heard somebody say
SaaS, software as a service, SaaS business advisors. So SaaS BA.
Yeah, I said SaaS, and then I heard someone spell it out. I was like, oh my God, have I been saying SaaS and I shouldn't have been? Yeah, go imagine that. Yeah, SaaSBA.com. And /HOB, all right, go ahead and get on the calendar early. Yeah. Like CJ, right? You have to really be with the Hounds. But if you're watching this, you want to go ahead and jump on it. Hey, just jump to my group call first. And if you want to do that, just DM me. You already know I don't pester people. I'm behind like 4 days on 6,000 messages. So I promise you, I've got help. I'm coming in. I've got help here. They're going to help me process, manage, automate stuff.
Let's automate it, Mike.
Awesome. Let's do it. We're waiting.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Yes, I'm going to get with you. All right. So thank you all for showing up. Thanks, folks here.
Thanks for having us.
People in the comments been fantastic. You all are really fun people. I can't wait to get this out here even more. And we'll have a round two. We'll have to get Sarah and some other people. We'll just have to geek out, man. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Perfect.
All right. Y'all are fantastic. And folks, hey, I'm going to let you go. Next week, we're doing the community show with the one and only Christine Bell. Australia. Brad, he's also in space stuff. So this is going to be fun. And Claudia Maralanda, right? She has fused overwhelming burnout with art. She is an amazing artist. So this is going to be fun. We're going to be talking about how to infuse community and networking to get stuff done. All right, the benefits of that, folks. So it's not just me. Yeah, I've got a lot of, and by the way, spoiler alert, lot of high level, heart centered, amazing folks doing great programs, business, community, and networks. Guess what? They found us finally. I've been trying to find them for 2 years, and I'm like, well, I gave up. They found me. So there's going to be a lot of cross pollination. This is going to be so exciting. So this is the time to get in. All right, if you're curious, I got a group call. They're educational as well as entertaining. You already know, right? And no pressure. We just want to make sure that folks win. The impact you want to make, all the crap you went through in life that prompted you to start a business, that prompted you to be somebody and get out there and make an impact. Realize that. Don't say, oh, well, I ran out of money or I'm not cut out for this. No. You just didn't know what you didn't know, right? You showed up to a football game with a dadgum baseball bat. That's what happened to me. So get plugged into these kind of folks that care and are building with you. Go get the resources, tools, and support you need. That's why we exist. All right. So, hey, appreciate you all. Love having you in here. And we'll get you back. Oh, Mike. Oh, you're going to be on Mike King next week. Is it next week?
Yeah.
True.
Oh, wow. Yep. Tuesday, 2 p.m. That is our ESPN RVA with the one and only Mike King of Mike King Biz Radio. Man, that goes out to Richmond, and we blast out international online. So definitely check that one out, folks. Can't wait to have you. All right.
Great.
So,
thanks, Mike.
Hey, my pleasure. Andy, you're good people.
Thank you.
All right. See you next time. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.